Cooper caught it somehow.
Cowboys OT is brought to you by Geico. 85 years of savings and service. Sleep Number, the Sleep Number 360 smart bed, helps everyone from parents to pros improve their performance through quality sleep. Only at a Sleep Number store. And NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
The Dallas Cowboys travel all the way back from a double-digit deficit in the second half, but fall at home on Thanksgiving to the Las Vegas Raiders thanks to a 29-yard Daniel Carlson field goal to win it in overtime. 36-33, the final from AT&T Stadium, and we break it all down for you here on Cowboys OT. This is also the first word presented by Dr. Pepper. And gentlemen, we have got a lot to talk about in the 3-point loss to the Raiders at home. The Cowboys now fall to 7-4 on the 2021 season. Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Youmans as I'm alongside three former Cowboys. Nobody better to break this down than you three, in my opinion, because there's a lot of places that you can go. You can talk about the defense giving up 36 points, the offense having their struggles throughout the game, the special teams and the miscues there, but also some of the wins on special teams, a 100-yard kick return from Tony Pollard. So, Isaiah, I start with you. When you look back at this Thanksgiving matchup, what's going to stand out to you?
14 penalties, 166 yards. That's what stands out to me. That takes you out of that takes opportunities off the table for you. There's so many third down situations. I think there were four third downs, I believe, where a penalty occurred, a defensive penalty occurred, defensive pass interference specifically, especially on A. Brown, that took away our opportunities to get off the field. And that ultimately decided this game. There were other factors, but those defensive penalties destroyed us.
Anthony Brown was solid up until this point. He had a terrible day, and it cost him. 4 times he had penalties. We know that Tyron Smith came back and was a little bit rusty, but he gave up a sack and had a couple of key penalties. A lot of times it's not that you get so many penalties. It's when these penalties happen. You take yourself out of field goal range, you take yourself out of the red zone, and you stop precious drives, and that's what this Dallas offense and defense done to themselves today.
Yeah, I'm with both of you guys on this one. It was extremely sloppy with the penalty-wise, and it knocked them out of a lot of opportunities to score points. But to me, defensively, they gave up a lot of explosive plays. And I'm talking about in the passing game. I think they gave up 5 or 6 explosive plays. That's 20 yards or over on the pass play. And that's something that we haven't seen from this Cowboys team so far this season. They've had a good job of kind of keeping the umbrella, do that bend but don't break defense, and it's worked for them. But today, they met the Cowboy killer, Deshaun Jackson. I mean, this guy is 35 years old, but he's still able to blow the top off the secondary, and he did just that today, giving the Raiders the plays they needed to go ahead and get this victory. Overall, I think this one will hurt the Cowboys.
The Cowboys have been susceptible from a defensive standpoint of giving up the big play throughout the 2021 campaign. However, the Raiders haven't been a team this season that has capitalized on the big play. So that's something I think you have to look at in this game and say that's a missed opportunity from the Cowboys defensively. Now, it also gave confidence to that Raiders team early on as well. This is a team built on confidence. We talked about it in the pregame show as well. Isaiah, you talked about it all week. Early on, the Raiders had the confidence. Sure, that dwindled a little bit late, but ultimately it was enough to stick around for the win.
Yeah, the reason being because these guys have the personnel. This team is loaded full of established players, veterans, proven guys in this league that have gotten big contracts. Anywhere, you can talk about Crosby, you can talk about Ngakoue, you can talk about Trufant. All these guys started showing up later on in the game. You didn't hear Trufant's name until the end of the game when you actually needed him. And that's what we're talking about. When you allow these teams to stick around, now all of a sudden they start remembering who they were. Right? Sometimes we have these veterans that kind of fall back to just being, I'm just a guy out there. But when you have these competitive, highly competitive games, such as today, when the whole world is watching, all of a sudden they perk their chest up a little bit, and now all of a sudden they have something to play for. And then we allow those guys to have that confidence because they were in this game.
Waller went out early in the first half, and all of a sudden, Renfro takes over. What you call him, the Cowboy killer. Deshaun Jackson does this thing. And I was nervous about Renfro all week because he's a route runner, and route runners have proven it over our history to hurt the Dallas Cowboys. He came up with 134 yards, and like you say, D-Jack got us over the top, and he lived for that situation. So they took advantage of it, man, confidence, and they just kept rolling. Forget about the running game. Yes, sir.
Can't forget about that. And Cal, you were right on there. I mean, this is a game where the Dallas Cowboys should have come out here and pretty much stomped on the Raiders' neck out there. Let them know that they didn't belong on the same field. But it started from the beginning. The Raiders took that formula, started fast, made the Cowboys do a 3-and-out. Then they went down the field the very next drive and scored 7 points off of it. You can't give a team that's overmatched like that confidence to think they can play with you on this field. And that's exactly what happened. It lasted the entire game, and the Raiders walked away with a W.
Cowboys have now lost 4 of their last 5 Thanksgiving matchups. So teams look at this as an opportunity to go into AT&T Stadium in front of the national crowd and get a win. And they've at least over the 4 of the last 5 games, they've converted in that fact. Let's take a look at some of the final stats before we take a break. 36-33, the final score. The Raiders up over 500 total yards. They're now 6-0 when they score at least 30 points. And the Cowboys giving up over 30 points for the first time since the Broncos game back a couple weeks ago. The Cowboys fall at home here on Thanksgiving. We've got plenty more to come here on Cowboys OT, as well as the first word presented by Dr. Pepper. We'll be back in a moment.